And we're live. Yes. Yes. Okay, so as you can see, we have some new branding. Okay, write down these hex values, write down these colors. You're going to want to study these for the test. These are my new brand colors, okay, for Gab with Sab, the podcast. Like, I just kind of went into Canva and I don't know, worked my magic. I kind of like did my thing. I kind of popped off, if I do say so myself, okay? I'm pretty proud, pretty happy. Only positive feedback is welcome in the comments. I will not tolerate y'all not liking it. It's gonna, like I said, study up. So anyway, I rebranded, and so I've rebranded all the slides, and everything is gonna be like a little fun, a little fresh, a little colorful. Like these, I think, like contrary to my previous theme, which is modeled after my personal website colors, these are much more like saturated, like in your face. I feel like genuine designers are like, dare I say, like they're cringing at me talking about like the color theory of it and being like, and I feel that I have no idea and nothing to contribute to that like conversation necessarily. But that's okay. We don't need to be good at everything. And so, with all that being said, drop your love in the comments below and let's get with it. Yep. Frame. How you keep your pants up on stage? Belt. And that's exactly it. So, basically, this is just an extension, another like iteration, another evolution of saying exactly. Because I have really been like running exactly into the ground. And so elaborating a little bit and saying like, and that's exactly it. Like making it a full phrase, I think is really fun. And so that's been something I've been saying. Moving on. So next, basically I have been like teasing myself with the idea of like a salaried job, which for any new listeners out there, I famously freelance. And it's a little insecure right now. It's a little bit unreliable for income at the minute. And so basically I was not pursuing full-time employment, but a recruiter reached out to me. Yes. Clock that. And they were like, you should apply for this job. And anyways, I got my hopes all up. And then apparently the hiring process has been paused. I had to reach out to get that update. But they were like, this is going to happen like within a week. It's going to be like a tight ass turnaround. And so this isn't to say that like I'm upset that it's paused necessarily. Like whatever is happening is happening. That's outside of my control. Like it could be for any completely, reasonable purpose. And yet I just like got my hopes up real big. And then I was like, oh my God, I've been like I said, like teasing myself with this idea several times in the time that I've started freelancing, and which has been like 3 years now. So also clock that. I was like more seriously considering it for the first time because I am planning out some travel for the coming like couple of years. For the first time in my life, I'm like planning far in advance, and part of planning far in advance involves saving money, and I am just, like I said, feeling a bit financially insecure at the minute. Whatever, it's okay. It's to my friends and family, you don't need to worry about me. Like I'm gonna survive. Like I'm okay. But the idea of a regular check is just like so enticing. It's just, I'm like, dude, I would have so much money if I got like a full-time software job or a full-time like product management job. Or so anyways, this role that I got reached out to for, right, it's a technical product manager role. So they were like, ideally it's somebody who is in a technical role who is also like has become a product manager. And I was like, that's exactly me. And then I was like, it's a startup. It's AI, which is like not on brand for me. It's also fintech, also not on brand for me, but like, I don't know. I'm much more welcoming to the idea of fintech than I am of AI. for two reasons. And they're both because I fear it. Like, one, I am intimidated by, like, the AI tech stack. I don't know, like, I literally just don't know what it is and have never used it, and so I'm just, like, it's kind of, like, the boogeyman at the minute for me. And I have, like, taken a data analytics and, like, machine learning class, or a data analytics class where we did some machine learning. I did not go on to take the machine learning course. Note that. Don't tell this potential employer, but write it down for the test, obviously. And so AI scares me in that sense, boogeyman, but also I fear its implications generally, like, in my opinion, outweigh the cost to, like, manage and run a model. I feel like, and I'm waiting to talk to the CTO and CEO about it, allegedly during this interview setup, but I'm going to ask them, like, why do you think it's important for your tool to use AI, and what does it actually, like, benefit you or benefit the customer, or, like, who is this just, like, to raise money against because this is a startup and we need, like, investor interest, and AI is obviously the hot button topic at the minute, and I'm interested to see what they have to say. Like, I guess I'm, like, amicable to the idea that there is, like, reason enough to use AI, but I also don't know, like, genuinely what the impact of, like, one startup company is of, like, using an AI setup, whatever it is. I feel like I'm talking about this like I'm clueless, which I feel I'm playing up, so I feel aware of the audience right now, and maybe we'll get back to that idea later. Like, anyway, I have teased myself with a salary, and I'm kind of waging now that my work has, like, kind of well and properly dried up. Like, it's been drying for some time, and I have not been able to line up, like, additional work, because I'm trying to line up, like, design thinking workshop work, like, stuff that uses the tools that I've learned in the University Innovation Fellows Program, UIF, okay? And I just, like, would really much rather be spending my time doing that. I think it would be really fun, and I think that I would be really good at it, and I think that I could charge a lot more for my time, which is of interest to me because I'm teasing myself with the idea of a salary so that I can afford to travel to Japan. And so, whatever. Another thing with travel is that it is, right now, like, if I can afford it, I can do it. Like, I am not beholden to anybody's schedule necessarily. I can, like, negotiate terms around like, the amount of time I take off all at once, and whatever. So I, in a salaried role, would have to operate on the PTO schedule, and I'm intending to take, like, 2 weeks at least in Japan, and so to afford myself not only the, like, logistical travel of getting there, and then the logistical, like, spending time there and feeding and housing myself. I am going to be staying with a friend, so, like, the housing is off the table, but anyway, there's the logistical costs of getting there and spending time there, and then the cost to, like, pay for myself to not get paid for work I'm doing then. Like, I just need to have enough money, I guess. And because I'm not, like, giving myself a check every 2 weeks, I'm, like, trying to send an invoice, like, once a month. And then that has a 30-day lag, and such is life. Thankfully, it comes through Zelle, so I get that shit quick when they send it. And so, shout out Zelle. And I brought this all up, actually, to talk about how this has been a kind of, like, ego roller coaster where I'm, like, feeling really confident because I, like, got reached out to about this role. Like, and this is a recruiter doing, like, a general search against their network, like, and they happen to scroll down my profile. Like, it's not necessarily that serious, but I do feel like in this case they may have made, like, a really appropriate match. And maybe that's what makes them a good recruiter. I don't fucking know. I'm not a recruiter. But that bigs up my ego a little bit. And then I'm also feeling like all of the flip side of that, which is feeling like I am scared of AI, and so how could I like product manage an AI startup, right? Like, or feeling like I don't have enough product management experience that is like even though I've been doing it in practice with a startup for the last few years, it is like one client, one project. And so that isn't to say that it's not useful experience, but I just like, I feel that the product management sphere, like from what I've gleaned from browsing jobs and applying to jobs and stuff, like they kind of expect you to have a lot of experience in it before you get into it. And I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense, obviously. Like, how am I supposed to get experience if I can't get a fucking job? And well, then I went and got experience working at Rockin' Cat and like talking to the other people who were product managers and like being in their like our weekly meeting. It was mine too. Eventually I started taking notes, and then I started like product managing our public facing website, which was fun. Basically, I'm like running up and down and being like, I am the most like fucking fierce ass bitch, and then being like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna make money ever again. Like, and that's the tease of it all. So that's what's up with that. Moving on. Oh my god, my keyboard disconnected. There we go. Okay, so I have been thinking about microplastics a lot more, and I'm not here to like convince you any which way about them, but I'm saying that how much I care has increased a little bit recently. And I'll tell you where it started and like became a like problematic amount of worry is with these water bottles that I had kept in my car, and it was like the summer, so the shit was getting hot, and I was like, that is so gross. Like, I would only drink that water in an emergency scenario because like undoubtedly there's a bunch of like microplastics or like whatever unsafe chemicals. Like, something is bad about that and I don't like understand it. And so boogeyman again, I don't know what it is and I don't understand it, and so I'm scared of it. And so I've been thinking about microplastics, especially in my marijuana products, namely my bud. I like get it in this little vial from basically the dispensary near me. Like, I'm in a state where it's not legal, in a city where it's decriminalized, but they are selling like the THCA stuff, which is effectively the same. And so that's what I've been smoking. And so anyway, so it like came to me in plastic, but then I put it into a glass jar, and I'm bringing some to go camping this weekend. And I put some in a little plastic container because it was the smaller thing that I had. I was trying to see if I had a small jam jar, because that would have been fucking legendary. Such a perfect little container to hold like enough weed for the weekend. Oh my god. I'm pissed off because I thought I had one, but I cannot find it. I'm pretty sure my mom like gave me them, and that's why I feel like very certain that I had it. But maybe they're still at her house. Oh my god. That's all to say, there was one time I smoked weed with some of the people I'm going to be seeing this weekend, and this man pulls out a prescription bottle with a damn nickel in it and is like, yeah, I'm gonna grind the weed in this. I was like, that's disgusting. Did I smoke it? Yeah, obviously. But I was like I'm gonna close my window. I was like really unsettled by it, and I think about it all the time. Like, I think about it when I'm thinking of microplastics in my marijuana, and I don't know that I should like censor myself. Like, I don't know if YouTube like becomes upset with me talking about like illicit substances, but I really don't think that like, I just don't think the algorithm gives a fuck about me anyway, so like why would they care about that? Like, the more important thing to them is that like, and this is a long video, right? Like, this is gonna be probably over an hour long, this episode, and because I got a lot of topics and I'm fucking yapping. I'm yapping the house down boots. I'm yapping like it's my motherfucking job because I don't have any other work to do that will pay me. So I've just been thinking about this, and I feel like I peaked earlier and I'm becoming less afraid of it again, but I definitely spiked up. Like relatively, I'm at a high for high levels of concern. Because I was watching the thing about like why Teflon. I was watching the Veritasium video about Teflon with Colin. I haven't watched Veritasium on my own in a while. I've been kind of off the, like, educational content. Don't know why. Maybe that's why I can't get work. Who knows? Are they related? Definitely not. Now that I say it out loud, I'm like, no. But in my head, I kind of thought that for a second. So, they were talking about how Teflon, like, just sticks around and gets in the water, and, like, how much levels of different chemicals or different compounds or whatever are safe levels to have in your system, and how then obviously those like companies exploited something being like just marginally different, and like even when they got legislation to like prevent companies from doing that, they were like, okay, I'll just add like another molecule or whatever and like see if I give a shit. And so interesting stuff. If you haven't watched that, if you're not familiar with like Teflon and what the fuck is that area called? Like in West Virginia, the Andes and shit. Not the Andes. I don't know. I can never remember. The Appalachian area. Appalachia. There we go. Appalachia. Like a lot of people and families were affected by the Teflon waste, and like it got into the water supply and stuff, and into the like stuff that was growing in the area. It was like, and so people had like really high levels, like really concerning levels, and it was really bad. And so really fucking bad. But I'm not that pressed about it, so we can probably move on. I will talk about this only briefly because I feel like I really elaborated on this in the previous episode, but I framed it at some point this week as like I'm being held at gunpoint. Oh my god, I have a typo. This is so embarrassing. I'm being held at gunpoint by myself. Like I'm holding myself at gunpoint basically, and like being like, if you don't say the perfect thing, if you don't like perform perfectly, like let's just say I have a gun in my hand, right? Like it feels like it's life or death, and it's so genuinely not. And I'm just like trying to calm the fuck down. I need to take a break. I need to get some water, an apple, maybe an apple and some peanut butter, watch a little Love Island, and I'll be back. Okay. Shut it down. And we're live. This episode of Gab with Sab, thank you for being here, is brought to you by me licking the boots of recruiters everywhere in an effort to get paid so that I can continue bringing you guys this content. I just want to actually apologize for like jerking off the recruiters, metaphorically speaking. I actually am re-recording this ad read because doesn't even matter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Love and light. On with the episode. Let's drag it to 45 seconds. Okay, and we're going. All right. We're super back. We're super tremendously back. And I want to talk about something that actually is a little bit relevant to what I just did, which is smoke again. And I was like, yeah, like, you bitches are just cleaning your glass, but are you optimizing your cotton swab usage? Like, are you trying to get it to be like one swab per use? How many like sessions do you go between cleaning? And I would say to optimize your cotton swab usage, it's kind of nice doing it after every use. Like once I finish a bolt, I clean the bolt. Does that make me a psychopath? So you're telling me that makes me an anarchist lunatic? An anarchist lunatic? An anarchist lunatic? is what you think that makes me? Oh my God. So, local anarchist lunatic. That is such a tongue twister. Go ahead and do it for me right now. Thank you. Okay. Speaking of substances, basically, I was talking to my friend Nick. Shout out Nick. And I was talking to him about the different addictions that I had been like spinning the plates of at the time. And he was like, maybe, he's like, just me, just my thoughts, just my opinion, but like maybe one addiction at a time. Like maybe we don't try to spin a bunch of plates all at once. That sounds dangerous. And I was like, yes. So anyways, the addiction that I'm trying to drop currently is a nicotine one. And in order to do that, which really the behavior I needed to stop was vaping, I have instead done a harm reduction act as defined by my therapist, shout out them, and I've been smoking cigarettes. I know. It's genuinely, and I say this with my chest, it's genuinely disgusting. It's disgusting. Like, I can't tell you how gross it is every time. Like, it's just genuinely like such an unpleasant experience. Like when I was rolling spliffs, like where I was rolling with tobacco and weed, I was like, oh my God, it's so smooth. Like it's so much smoother because it is like tobacco is much smoother than like a full 100% weed joint. Like, and tobacco like holds the light better, like it, or holds the fire better, the energy, the heat. But it's just, oh my God, like it's so, especially when you get down to the butt, like it's so hot. It's just, oh my God, like it makes me want a like straw to put it in. And maybe that's what I should do. I should shove it in a metal straw. I don't know. I'm trying to quit. So do I really want to make it better for myself? Like, I don't know. I kind of want to stop. So, but I haven't stopped. Right now I'm at a local minimum. I smoked 2 cigarettes yesterday. Today I only smoked 1. And I did it in half sessions. So some are saying we're on the ups. Some are saying it's looking great. The forecast is good. So I'm trying to narrow down my addictions. I don't know that I consider my relationship with weed, my relationship with marijuana, with cannabis, girl. I don't know if I consider it an addiction, and that feels like as a habitual user, it feels like outrageous to say that. But, and as like a person who generally develops, like, I have a tendency towards addiction, some are saying. And so if I like had a substance to get addicted to, like I would obviously be addicted to it. Like if there's something that I can like mentally become addicted to. So I feel like I must be addicted to it. And maybe that's the only plate I want to be spinning. And I don't want to also be spinning the cigarettes. And I was gambling for a time. Oh my God. Colin and I were gambling together. Oh my God. That feels icky to disclose. It makes me feel shameful, genuinely. Like, and maybe that's just, like, how I feel about it to myself. Like, I'm projecting that onto the audience here. But I genuinely feel like, but so the thing was, we kept coming out even and leaving and then being like, well, we have this cash in our wallets. And we were working with, like, I don't know if we were working with like $300 between the two of us. And so we were treating it like we were gambling like together, like it was our money. And so you could say this is a good like practice for like marriage or like domestic partnership. If you get like a joint bank account, it's a good exercise in sharing money, like a good, like, quick, small, confined exercise. Do you know what I mean? Not something that I'm saying that you should habitually do. I'm just saying you could learn something from it. And I would say that we did a little bit. Like, we talked about, like, what it looks like to consent to, like, hitting the button like another time. Like, the button to, like, do another bet, do another spin, whatever it is. Arthur is, like, right in front of the mic. It's crazy. I cannot have you purring that close. I'm sorry, buddy. I love you. You just cannot be distorting the audio like that, bro. He's in one of those moods where, like, if he's not, like, laying on top of me, he's basically, like, upset. And so I just had to, like, push him back against his will. So anyway, hopefully by next episode, I will not be smoking cigarettes anymore. I'm willing that into my future. And I do not think I'm going to vape again because I do not want to spend the money on it. Like, I genuinely am I'm like, it would be pretty irresponsible at this point. Like, or that's what it feels like to me, given my, like, capacity for risk. And, which is interesting to note, talking about a gambling addiction. Like, it's interesting seeing how my capacity for risk changes for different things. And that's kind of what it's all about. Whatever. And whatever. That's exactly it. So, speaking of trying to sell my goddamn services, bro. Oh my God. I literally was like, I was talking to my friend and my friend and mentor, if you will. I guess I want to backlog and say Nick is also my friend and mentor. This is another person who is my friend and mentor. And basically what he was saying, like, without saying exactly this, was like, your network is your net worth. And I was like, that's crazy how that's true. And, like, I just was, like, learning how to, like, actually leverage the people in my life and the people I know, like, my network and my community. And my network and my community can be different things, I feel. With the community being the one that's more, like, tight, if that makes sense. And the network is more loose. Like, not everyone in my network is in my community. But everyone in my community is in my network. Okay, that is, like, a really easily explained thing. Wow. I was like, this gargantuanly complex concept. Whatever. So, that is to say, like, it feels like playing a game with your friends and being like, I want to do this business stuff with you. And maybe it feels like less of a game if it is with your friends. And maybe that's true, because I'm, like, managing my friends who are musicians, and they are, like, insistent upon paying us, even though we were like, we don't even know that we're, like, providing value for you. Like, we're still figuring out, like, what our role is in your success. And we're practicing and we're trying, and, like, we'd rather this yield, like, financial independence for y'all so that you can do more and you can, like, put all your energy toward creating, because you also don't like your fucking jobs. Like, who the fuck likes working? And genuinely from a, like, I'd rather be doing this art stuff. Like, I'd rather do this art stuff all the time. And that's the energy I'm getting from artists. And so anyways, that's another good example of your network is your net worth. Like, it's genuinely about building your network with who you know and, like, the contacts at different venues, and building relationships with other artists and groups and bands and what have you, so that when they put together a ticket, like, they include you, or they think of you to recommend if somebody else asks. And so, I mean, people have said that about the music industry, and I'm realizing that it's true. We're gonna start sending some cold emails more soon, and that's gonna mostly be to festivals. Apparently, festival season in the terms of the festival itself building its roster, building its poster, if you will. So that's interesting information that I learned that maybe you didn't know. Whatever. Okay. So, and you know what? Let me go to here. And I will go back, because basically I want to talk about the Love Island reunion. But another thought I want to have is another thought I want to explain is when you are expected to do the work of like becoming a better partner and becoming like a fully like realized, emotionally intelligent, like self-aware adult, which is something I feel that I have been like continuously working on for since I've been in a relationship with people, right? Like I'm always doing the work. And I was framing these, like, I think it was something that we were talking about with regard to the Love Island reunion, because I was like, we expect, and so this is gonna sound like a Huda defense, and do not misconstrue me. This is not a defense of Huda, but the way we talk about doing the work and when that is expected is different for people of different like gender presentations, if you will, of different sexes, of different genders. And it's expected that women have already like done that work in advance of getting in a relationship with, I think, anyone, but like especially a man. And then a man is expected to do that work in the relationship. Like they do it while like their capacity for risk is very high, and their capacity for risk like for the other person is very high, because they're like you kind of don't know what you're getting. Like they can't be confident in who you are. I don't know, is that what I'm trying to say? Like I don't know. But so I was watching the Love Island reunion with some girls, shout out them, and you know what, let me shout them out to Therese, Kim, and Kylie. Would you believe it? Kim and Kylie Jenner. Kim Kardashian West and Kylie Jenner. Kim Kardashian and Kylie Jenner. Yeah, my best friends. So, we were watching the Love Island reunion, and, well, for one, let me think about this on the fly. Number one, I was like, get Huda off my screen. Have no care for anything she has to say. But I have reactions to what she said because she was on my screen against my will. And what she said was like, basically, I am like failing my way forward through these relationships. And like, and the controversy is essentially like, is she allowed to do that? And it's not, and I'm boiling it down like pretty far here to say that like the controversy comes down to that, but I think that's genuinely it, is people are like, how dare you like be imperfect and make mistakes in your relationship. And that's how it's being framed to Huda, I bet, like, and that is why she has this like complex about it that is like, yeah, I hurt people, like, so what? And it's like, yeah, so what? Like, the controversy is in the so what of it all, in that, like, how dare you hurt people in the process? But I think what people are really looking for from Huda, and what I'm really looking for from Huda, is, like, giving us, like, the opportunity for her to demonstrate that she understands, like, why what she did was not cool. She just kept being like, did I make mistakes? Yes. Like, was it the right way to handle it? No. But, like, I need her to elaborate a bit on, like, and I guess I'm not taking her at her word, but it's because she is behaving like she has not given a fuck about, like, what I think of her. And as she shouldn't. Like, that's literally none of her business. Like, but I just thought it was really interesting to bring up this conversation of, like, when you're expected to do the work to, like, become a person who can be in a relationship with other people, like, safely. And, you know, you're always going to be a little dangerous in the sense that, like, you always have the capacity to, like, hurt somebody at any time. Like, wait, no fucking clue what I was talking about, actually. Stupid. So I don't have a ton else to say about, like, okay, I don't have a ton else to say about the Love Island reunion. Like, it was interesting and juicy, and they provided a lot of clips. Like, they truly showed up with, like, the full uninterrupted recordings of the deliberations for trying to decide who was going to get voted out. And they also showed that, like, the people they voted out was, like, the will of the people. Like, when they polled viewers afterward, that was generally the consensus. But that's also, like, a confirmation bias. Yeah, confirmation bias. Or, it's just skewed data because it's the people who, like, have the app and do vote who are, like, really engaged viewers, who you could argue are the people that you want to prioritize. But I don't know if there's more viewers that are casual than are really dedicated in the app. Like, probably there are more non-app users, because people can, like, passively watch, whatever. The Love Island, it was fun, like, or was it fun? I don't know if it was. Like, it was fun when I was watching it with the girls, but I actually watched it a second time through by myself, and, like, while I was doing something else, and I was like, wait a minute, like, this is already over, or, like, we're already this far through, and we, like, really haven't gotten anything that was, like, interesting. Because, like, the people who I wanted to, I guess we like, had interesting stuff, but I wasn't having fun. Maybe is what I mean. I don't know. Whatever. Let me know what you guys thought about the Love Island reunion. The Love Island reunion. Now, you bitches, are not ready for what I'm about to tell you. I put a 2-liter water bladder in my baggu, in my medium crescent baggu, my French blue baggu, otherwise known as the blue goo. I have been carrying around a 2-liter water bladder in my medium crescent baggu. So, in my blue goo. I feel like a fucking genius. Like, I feel well and truly like I am onto something. Like, I'm scheming with the way I got my water, like, saddled up in my fucking crossbody bag. Like, Camelback was not thinking about that when they designed their backpacks. They were not thinking about, when they designed their water bladder. Like, they're designed to be held upright is one thing, and so holding them in the blue goo is holding them sideways. And I'll tell you what, though, the shape of it, of the one that I have in particular, is actually quite conducive to the blue goo, or to the medium crescent shape in general, because it's flat on the back and then kind of has a dome shape for the rest of the bag, and that shape allows it to, like, kind of more properly occupy, like, half the bag and, like, really distribute the water well. So, like whereas if it was just a pouch that was, like, flat, it would bulge in wherever was the heaviest. Like, it would have, it wouldn't spread evenly, it would, like, pile, and it would likely be, you know, like, lower. It would obviously be, like, the low point, because it's gravity. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. And so that's to say, if I, like, was to really drain it, I would probably have to, like, prop my bag up. And I'm thinking about starting to carry it around with, like, slightly less water. Like, 2 liters of water is a ton, and it's actually heavy. And so then that's only on one shoulder at a time, as opposed to, you know, like, a hydration bladder is generally on your back in a backpack. So, or on a vest. And so, this is all to say, I, like, think that I'm a genius. I think I'm an innovator. I think I'm a visionary. Some are saying that. It's actually up there on my little vision board. That's right. So, I am feeling like an innovator and a visionary. A pioneer, an innovator, and a visionary. So, those are my three. Those are my three big identities. A pioneer, an innovator, and a visionary. And that's why these girls should hire me seriously so fast. Like, why are they not making haste to hire me? I'm so fucking smart. It's hard being so, like, gifted and talented. Like, it's a burden. It's a burden I have to bear. Anyway, if you haven't, consider the double exclamation point emoji. Try it sometime. It's a good one. Been really liking it as a reaction lately, and it's just it's quite tasteful, if I'm being honest. Like, it suggests like interest and enthusiasm. It suggests interest and enthusiasm, not necessarily like alarm and panic, even though it is red, which is really interesting. It's really interesting. Language archivists, if you're watching, write that one down. That'll be on the test just for you. Okay, I've got something silly, but I'm gonna come back to this after I go start dinner for the fam being me and Colin, and our joint stomach account that we are sharing. So I'll be back. Team, this ad read is brought to you by me, but I am going to shout out a program that I have an affiliate link with. So this is maybe a hashtag ad. The product I'm talking about is Descript. Descript is what I use to edit all of my videos and all of my podcast videos, and it transcribes all of the content that you upload to it so that you can edit through it like a script, meaning you can like highlight a word and delete it. Okay, so you can see that you hover over the word and just simply hit delete and there it's gone. But you can see that I just click the word and it puts it right above the timeline for you. It's really nice. Or I can go highlight that word in the script. This is another that I found. And it highlights all those for me, so it's easy to find. You can also have it remove them automatically because it's already doing all of the work for you anyway. But I like to keep some of my in, and I never know which ones I want to keep, and so I like to remove them manually. This tool, Descript, bitchin', love it. It's like so good. It records my screen for me, it records my camera, like I don't have to do any sort of business with like OBS, trying to like take in all my inputs. Like Descript, I record natively into the product, and I will tell you, it used to be much more unreliable. It is 100 times better now. Like, my recordings don't fail nearly as often. And you know what? If they were paying me for this video, maybe I wouldn't say that, but I just have an affiliate link. So I do think it's worth getting. And the thing that I use actually the most is removing gaps, like word gaps where I'm not saying anything. So for Gab with Sab, I go to AI tools and I do shorten word gaps. And then I say, okay, anything more than half a second. And then I want to shorten that to half a second. So if it's 0.51, it'll get shortened to 0.5. If it's 2 seconds, it'll get shortened to 0.5. Geez. And so I already did this, and there was like 1,200 word gaps that I got rid of in my hour. And well, so it was almost like 2 hours of content before. But after removing my word gaps, it went down to an hour and a half. And now that's 30 minutes of footage that I don't have to sit through to just remove parts where I'm not even speaking, like where I want to remove it anyway. And so I will say it's not perfect. Like this tool is, and this product is obviously something that they're working on a regular basis. Like every time I open it up, it's like restart for the latest version of Descript. Like the girls are actively working on this software. And so any issues I've had have like basically been fixed. I will report issues sometimes, but for the most part, like I won't say anything and then the issue goes away eventually. So using the tool has only gotten better. Pricing. Yes, so their base plan, 10 hours a month, and you get AI credits. Maybe, and I think I spend some AI credits when I do the word gaps. And I'll tell you what, it says it's an AI tool. They had that long before they purported like working with AI. Now I think they just put it in AI tools to be like, AI is popular, even if it doesn't use AI, like, and maybe it does, like, for all I know, they were just ahead of the curve, like, but hey, startup's gonna raise, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, $16 a month, base plan, creator, $24 a month, and you get 30. I really cannot say enough good things about this product. Like, I wish that they would pay me to talk about them, and maybe one day they will. I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate nonetheless, because I think that this saves me time, like as a creator. It's made me be able to podcast. Like it's literally enabled me as a creator, because now I'm like, I have time for this. They also have captions. Because it transcribes the video already, it's not like do I want to invest the time into it? It's like, I'm just going to put it there. I thought that I was going to have to do it by hand, bro. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, the tool's just right there. Oh, so it's actually obvious. Oh, so it's actually super easy and super well done. And so if it, for some reason, transcribes words incorrectly, it's C to correct. So comments, and maybe I actually said commence. And so all I have to do is like edit this to be correct, and then I have perfect captions. Like, it's just that good. It's just that good. So my affiliate link, if you start a monthly subscription, I get a $25 kickback, a one-time, finder's fee, if you will. So if you're interested in this product, please use my link, because then I get a little bit of money. And wouldn't that just be swell? Okay? I would love it. You would love it. We'd all love it. Thank you for listening. I reached out to them actually, and I applied for their affiliate program. Okay, one thing about me, I'm gonna lick a boot. That makes me what? That makes me a villain? That makes me an enemy of the state? Because of what? I want to lick a boot? It makes me an enemy of the people, actually? Because of what I want to... And believe me, I want there to be no good under capitalism, but the truth is that there is. Amongst all the bad, that there is good. There is good stuff. That said, they do not endorse necessarily the perspectives shared in this video outside of this ad read, and even within the ad read. All right, back to the content. Okay, I'm testing the microphone again because it's a new day. So this episode is going to be brought to you by Arthur, who's sitting on my little chair next to a little stuffed animal from the arcade. Oh, so cute, he's so sleepy. Okay, thank you. Hopefully this audio worked well. Okay, what's up everybody? It's a new day. I have a new hat on, and I'm ready to fucking yap. I am actually going to be finishing the rest of this episode, as some are saying, sober. And I did go ahead and smoke a cigarette before this. I feel, as I said earlier, I feel disgusting. And nevertheless, I'm here doing it. So like, if it came across that I was trying to be like judgmental towards people smoking cigarettes, like that it's not the case, but I am just like declaring these things as a matter of fact. Anyway, moving on. A bit that I've been doing, that I've been kind of keeping up for this whole podcast, if you will, is that I'm famous and well-loved because I fear being disliked. And we don't need to dig into that right now, but this is all to say it's quite a fun bit to be like to just kind of act confident and to exercise being and belonging by just doing it as a bit. I realize this is not like revolutionary for me to be sharing. Like, I think I've seen stuff like this on Instagram, but I don't know, like, that means like several people have had this idea before, right? Like if I'm seeing it on my little Instagram feed, my TL, my timeline. But it's like a way for me to like just practice being confident without like having to put my whole chest behind it. Basically, like, if I act like I'm joking, if I ironically pretend that I'm confident, exactly, you get it. So that's the bit. That's kind of the bit of this whole podcast. And I think it's been working for the most part. Like, for the most part, then when I do get positive feedback, I'm like, duh. I'm like, oh my God, actually, it's real. Like, I'm kind of establishing my confirmation bias in a positive way, instead of being like, everybody hates me, and then I get a hate comment, and then, which I haven't gotten, to be fair, because literally nobody but my friends are watching right now, so shout out my friends and fam, love y'all. But as soon as I get a hate comment, I'm going to have to remember, and I'm going to have to put the bit back up, that I'm famous and well-loved and that this is just a random hater. So I'll let you know what happens when I actually get a hate comment, when I get a trash talk. So until then, I'll be pretending that I'm famous and well-loved. And I'm so glad that this slide is next, because I've got something to fucking say about the oyster agenda. Big Oyster is out here, because I was sitting here like, why the fuck do people like oysters? Oysters are disgusting and taste like the sea and are like an unsavory texture, and they have to be like dressed up with all the little accoutrements and such, like hot sauce and lemon. And I'm like, who the fuck decided that this was exquisite dining? Like, it feels like people who had a lot of oysters, or who were able to harvest a lot of oysters, because I like presume that oysters were first introduced into the culinary landscape because the girls were hungry. Like, before there was fine dining, there was simply eating. And then I'm like, how did they become such like an expensive and sought after thing? Because like, you can kind of get them anywhere. Like, it's not like they're exclusively available at expensive restaurants. Like, you can get them generally on the coasts, as far as I know. But what do I know about the Big Oyster agenda? Nothing. Besides the fact that I think, like, my hypothesis here is that the people with the oysters were like, how do we make more money on these? Or like what would happen if we just like started charging a lot for these? And then rich people were like, oh, it's expensive, I'm gonna get it. Like, it's expensive and thus exclusive. And because I have the access money to get these things, I'm gonna get them. And because it's all about the facade of wealth, they're pretending that they're good. And I just think it's like really trifling. Like, I think it's just a big gag. I'm like, nobody likes these. Let's be serious. And so people, I guess, like, I don't fucking know, like, some people like cuisine that is different, you know, that's a unique eating experience. And so I can see why, like, trying oysters is interesting and being like, oh yeah, you know, there's people who've had to rely on this. It is like the capitalism of it all, right? Like, that this resource has now been turned into a commodity. I just think oysters are gross, and that's kind of my last thing to say about it. Next, linguists, come on back to the chat. I wanted to talk about, like, digitally writing in lowercase lately, and I know I'm not the only one doing this, like, but it's, like, really cute. It's really demure, some are saying, and oh no, I'm getting a phone call. I'll be back. Hi, Millie. Arthur. Okay, so I was talking about typing digitally in lowercase, and basically I bring this up because I have been, like, communicating formally with my client in lowercase via Basecamp message and also via text, and I'm like, in emails I generally go like normal case, like I capitalize the beginning of a sentence, I capitalize proper nouns and stuff, you know, the usual. And I was like, is this informal in the same way that like a like graphic tee or a low cut top, like a crop top, is inappropriate at work? Like, where it's just kind of like, well, the ruling class effectively decided that this is what we do, and this is what is formal and what allows you to be like welcome into these spaces. And I don't know, I like have been having an attitude toward formality that is just kind of like arbitrary, that it's like these are just rules that like somebody made up and I get to do whatever I want. And if you think it's unprofessional, just like literally a matter of like the casing of my text, then like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to work with you. Maybe we're going to have other things that we disagree on. And so, I don't know. In some ways, I feel like it's like communicating something about my brand to be communicating in lowercase. And also as doing like emails on behalf of the bands that I represent, I was like, should I be capitalizing? Because I like want these people to take me seriously. And that's coming from a place of feeling like I don't have any, what's the word? Like the word clout is coming to mind, but like I don't have weight. Like I don't have acclaim or like any accolades in the space. And so I'm trying to be taken seriously. And but then I was communicating with someone who runs a venue, and they were doing full lowercase emails, like long paragraphs, and it was perfect because they like communicated everything that needed to be communicated. And whereas other people sending more like formal emails have kind of left me guessing. And so this is making me realize that I am gonna like continue to do lowercase and formal emails and keep establishing that as like a new norm, that like that it's not weird to communicate in lowercase. Something I will talk about as well though is you can see here that I've also listed that I do analog, that is not digital. Analog being like a clock with hands instead of numbers. And so what I do when I'm writing is actually like in my journal I do normal casing for stuff actually because I like making capital I's. But on the flip of that, if I'm just writing like a phrase or a word, I will do this like thing that I call vowel case, where all of the letters are capitalized except for the vowels. And I think it looks really cute. Like I just think it's really fun and fresh. And so, I don't know, try that out sometime. Okay, I just watched a little bit of this before coming back on here. Like I was sitting here eating my pancake. And because I gave myself a little treat in the middle of the day, I just wanted a little pancake. And I keep singing music from this set. And it just like literally brings me to tears to hear her sing. Because when I saw her, I was like, I attended this Bonnaroo set for Lizzy McAlpine. Because I went to Bonnaroo in 2024. Lizzy McAlpine was there and did rock my fucking world. And I went ahead and got too high for the performance. And in retrospect, maybe I was just as high as I should have been. But it was higher than I intended to get. And I just like literally was like sobbing the entire set. Because it was just so beautiful and emotional. Like I have an emotional attachment to her music. Because let's just say she was that's what I was listening to during tumultuous times in my relationship and at the time. And girl, seeing it, and I was there with Colin, and so like having moved through things and resolved things and like, but having still had like these attachments of these experiences to this music was just like made this like probably the best set ever. And so I just put this in here because like I think it's worth listening to. Obviously, it's not going to have the same, like, emotional gut punch for you as it does for me. Maybe it does. I don't know how you fuck with Lizzy McAlpine. But when I watch it, I'm like, seriously, I'm going to start sobbing. Like, I'm going to start pouring tears out of my eyes. I'm going to start, like, heaving over because it's so good. She is so talented. I just, like, I don't even know what to do. It just feels like I feel literally like overwhelmed with joy when I listen to her sing in this fucking music video. This music recording, visual audio. The recording is imperfect because it misses a chunk of like a song, and then the audio gets kind of weird at the end, but then it does pick back up and become better audio just in time to catch the end of the song. Excuse me. Had a little hiccup there. Anyway, go watch it. Speaking of good music, Miss Brittany Broski, Miss Broski has been releasing music, and I finally like got to the, like I'm catching up on Broski Report episodes, so I'm like a few months behind, but I finally got to the ones where she was talking about releasing music, and I finally went and listened to the music, and I was like, you know what? This is pretty good. Like, this is pretty good. It's very sticky. Like, I just find myself singing it. And I haven't listened to it that much. But then I've gone back and listened to it more because I was like, this is just fun. I like it. Stained by your love, I can't get myself clean. Okay, and then when I take a pivot into a music career, we're all gonna say, we saw that coming, obviously. Because broski is the blueprint. Girl is the blueprint. And so what if I see a good idea and then I do it? Like, what then? Does that make me a fucking bad person? Moving on. I am collecting sponsors. And I finally was like, maybe I should go out of my way to search for sponsors and ask them to sponsor my shit. And so I applied to the Descript affiliate program and I got accepted. So Descript is the tool that I use to edit all of these episodes. It's kind of a good tool for like, I don't know, like low fidelity video editing. And I don't say low fidelity as like a dig or like a bad thing. It just like literally makes it easy to do easy stuff. It's not just making easy stuff easy and like leaving you with a choppy result. It's like leaving you with something that is quite high fidelity, if you will. And so I just really like it. I think I get 10 hours of transcription time a month, which is good for doing like 2 episodes a month. That's like plenty. And, you know, for a little bit I was doing weekly episodes. It turns out that's a little bit too much for me, but I don't know, we'll see, because now I'm basically unemployed. So, anyway. So, yes, so I'm a Descript affiliate now. I was reading the terms of the contract, and it was like, absolutely nothing that is offensive or profane or whatever. And I was like, maybe we're going to take the approach of, like, what they don't know won't hurt them, because I don't know if they're going to like everything I have to say in this podcast, but I do have good things to say about them. And so this podcast, this does not necessarily reflect the views of Descript, but I fuck with them, and I think you should fuck with them too if you are trying to like make simple content. So moving on. And if you are watching this and you think about something that could be a good sponsor for this, drop it in the comments. If you're a sponsor and you have something and you would like to sponsor me, email me, hit my line, and we'll talk. Bless you. Okay, now we have an important question afoot. I was sitting outside. I was sitting outside of my home, near my home, and I was like, do bees know that they're gonna die when they sting? Like, are they committing murder-suicide? And they would have to know, I think, in order for it to be, like, properly suicide, that, like, they know that they're killing themselves. And so part of me is like, animals, nature, like, they just know. They just be knowing. They just be knowing. On the other hand, I'm like, how would they know? Like, how would they... And if they did know, like, would they have to believe that they're gonna die anyway? Like, do bees have mental health challenges? Like, do some bees commit suicide? Meow. Like, do some bees commit suicide, like, straight up, not murder-suicide? I don't know. Is suicide simply a human concept? Don't know. Think on that one. Okay. Shifting gears completely again. I didn't, like, do a lot to rearrange the topics in this episode. I just kind of, like, did it in the order that I wrote them down throughout the weeks. And this one is... Basically, I was feeling dejected about the idea... I don't know if dejected is the right word. But I was feeling, like, unmotivated to protest because I was like, okay, so what? Like, a solidarity protest for the Freedom Flotilla, you know, trying to deliver aid to Gaza. I was like, what the hell? Like, what does that do? And just, I don't know, having feelings about protesting that were just feeling like these, like, demonstrations are not impactful or meaningful. And I'm saying that, like, I'm being vulnerable here and saying, like, why I wasn't going. Like, I don't genuinely think this now. And now, as you can see by the title on the slide, and for our audio listeners, it says, protesting because our power is in numbers. Basically, I just had a realization that I was like, our power as a people is in our numbers. And so in order for that to be reflected, like, we have to show up and stand our ground and, like, say our piece. And so I think this goes for, like, physical and digital spaces alike. And I'm just coming up with that now, so we'll see how that feels. But it's about like staking your flag in the ground and being like, this is what I believe, and I believe that this is right, or I believe that this is wrong. And how else are people supposed to know, or how else are people supposed to like be able to tell that that's what people are thinking? Like, it's not like, I don't know, like there's always polling happening, but I have never been polled. And so I'm like a little bit apprehensive to believe polls, because I'm like, who are they reaching out to? One, is there like a bias? Of course there's a bias in that, because it's people who are willing to talk about it and whatever. But so protesting is a way to be like, this is how many people give a fuck about this. And when it's a big protest, then it's like, oh my God. Or when the protests grow in size, it's like people are coming around to this idea. It's just like another way to demonstrate that we have power together. And it's also kind of like physically intimidating. And so I don't say that to mean that it's like a violent threat to protest, but it is like, in some ways it kind of ought to be, because it's saying like, if you, these few who have power because of your position, do shit that does not reflect the will of the people, like, there's more of us than there are of you. Like, kind of simple as that. It's demonstrating our power by coming together and being like, we're gonna stick together against you. So like, maybe watch your step, maybe watch that attitude, maybe reconsider like inappropriately targeting trans people as villains, maybe reconsider that. So that being said, I have not gone to a protest yet now for like a couple years, and so I need to put my pussy where my pot is. I need to walk it like I talk it. Arthur, dude, what are you doing? I want to show you what's going on. Arthur, he was just pawing at the window, and now he's embarrassed. Okay, so anyway, I think protesting is powerful because it shows that there are more of us than you think who are believing these ideologies, that it's not like a fringe belief to believe that people deserve to be taken care of. Anyway, moving into the next topic, I was thinking about like self-awareness, because last episode I talked about like self-censoring and trying to like be careful of what I say, but I was making the point that like effective and appropriate communication is, or like appropriate language is the backbone of communicating effectively. And maybe there is a point at which that becomes unuseful if I am like self-censoring. But I had another perspective on this that was thinking like, am I just trying to be self-aware, or am I fearful of being like surveilled? Like, in case someone's listening, I don't want them to hear me say something that might like get me in trouble. And I say this kind of like loosely and conceptually, like whatever is influencing me in the moment, to like choose my words so carefully. And I mean, especially on this podcast, I'm choosing my words carefully because this is like left online for anyone to see, for anyone to surveil. And I mean, I'm being quite like outright with my leftism, if you will, with my socialist beliefs, and with like, if we were gonna put words to it. So I guess want to see this with you. That is like, am I self-censoring because it's sensible or like prudent or like considerate and thoughtful, or am I doing it because I'm afraid of like being caught and having there be repercussions? And so like, as a white person, generally, like, people are not listening to what I'm doing and like threatening to kick me out of the country. Like, I'm a citizen, so like I don't think there's anyone like breathing down my neck to like get me taken care of. But then again, I don't know, it's not that hard to like find my address. So it's like, I wouldn't know that it's going to be a problem until someone like showed up at my door. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, just food for thought. Another thing I'm saying is gonna be tries and tribs. This is obviously an abbreviation for trials and tribulations. And so, every day we're just going through the tries and the tribs. And the tries and tribs are part of life. And this is fun to say about, like, not only genuine trials and tribulations, but also, like, my pancake burnt. Just the tries and tribs. Okay. We're going to get into the home stretch of this episode, but we're going to take one more break so that I can get some wah-wah and so that my computer doesn't explode. But I have something to talk about with what a post I saw on r/baggu. So, we'll be back. Oh my god, Sabrina, do another ad read. Oh my god, get that Okay. So if you will all remember, I was talking about my bad baggu girly story where I tried to price gouge on the Facebook page and was called out for it. And that's in part, I think, because there's this, like, energy in the baggu community that is, like, overly positive, that it's like we're all baggu girlies together and it's a community. And community's awesome. Like, I think having spaces with so much positivity is, like, generally a good thing, but I think it can start to cross a dangerous line when we then chastise people for being less than enthusiastically positive. And there was just a post I was looking at in the baggu Reddit page where someone was asking, like, baggu just did a new collab with Molly Goddard, and she's a designer, and the prices of the baggu items are more than the typical baggu item. And so someone was like, I like what I'm seeing, but, like, is it worth it? I don't know anything about Molly. And so, like, kind of like, what's all the hubbub? I don't want to waste my money, blah, blah, blah. And so someone was like, well, this designer is typically selling things that are not anywhere close to the baggu price point. So the fact that they've come down to offer it at something even remotely close to the baggu price point is kind of, like, unheard of. And so when you think about it, like, this is the cheapest that this designer has ever sold their products. And so, or, like, sold their designs, what have you. And this is all set up for someone, like, explaining this and then being also like, but Google is free. And they're like, just try it out. Like, maybe Google around a little bit next time. And then the person was like, oh my god, like, so rude. How, like, God forbid I ask my community for help. And the person wasn't even saying Google is free. They were just like, next time try Googling it. Like, I feel that they offered it, like, very charitably. And it just turned into, like, this back and forth in the thread of, like, what I have described as the pass-ag police, the passive-aggressive police. Mostly because passive-aggressive would not fit in this slide at this text size. And I just, like, I don't know. I think that it just goes too far when we expect people to be, like, overly nice and, like, extremely considerate. Like, I think expecting people to be nice is not wrong, but seeing anything that, like, defects from extremely nice as being mean or passive-aggressive or, like, rude or shady is just, like, it was just so not necessary, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. It, like, I think it serves to then hurt that community and make people feel like they can't fully show up as themselves. Like, they can only show up as this, like, overly positive perspective or what have you. And people just aren't always positive. Like, I'm positive all the time. I'm incredible, and every time you talk to me and see me, I'm just the light of the world because I'm so famous and well-loved. But sometimes things are not good. And so, I don't know. I don't know that what I'm saying about this is, like, super poignant or, like, interesting, but just a thought I had. Okay, next. I was seeing some discourse in Instagram about homecoming dresses for this year and how they're, like, so scandalous, and they're just, like, they can't believe what people are selling to teen girls these days, and like what teen girls are trying to wear. And I just think it's so fucking weird, if I'm being honest. Like, why do we care so much about what teen girls are doing with their bodies? Like, maybe we should just back the fuck off and let them live and learn. Like, I think that there is a fine line between teaching, because, like, what are we trying to teach our children by policing what they wear? Like, we're trying to tell them that there is not only an appropriate and an inappropriate way to dress, and we do that through dress codes at high schools, and we say, like, well, when you go to a company, when you go to get a job, you know, they're not going to let you wear this, that, and the other, and so it's time to get used to that now, because this is, like, a serious institution where we do serious stuff, like learning. And me personally, anti-dress code. I generally think that they are in place and not, like, enforced equally across, like, gender presentations. I don't think that they allow for like a reasonable amount of, I think that they, and so I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this too, but like, I think it's weird that we're the ones who are like sexualizing young kids' bodies, and so saying that like girls can't wear spaghetti strap tank tops is like the dumbest thing I think I've ever fucking heard. And I think that to see like kids' bodies is not weird. It's fucking weird that you're making them sexual. Like, that is like the part that's weird to me. And so like, I think there's people who want to like protect kids from being sexualized, but the like fact and the truth of the matter is like that's gonna happen regardless of what they wear. And I get that, you know, like parents and schools and institutions like feel that they have to draw a line somewhere. I do think it's often drawn like far too conservatively and doesn't like, it's just like unnecessarily prohibitive to be like hide your shoulders. Like, that's so damn dumb. If we want to agree that like your genitals should not be present and that maybe your like, I was gonna say in like your nipples, but then I'm also like, fuck, who cares? Like, I know it would be like a big culture shock for us to like come to school shirtless, and I guess I don't think that we should be coming to school shirtless, but like, if I see my peers' nipples, like literally it's not a big deal. Because for one, they're my peers. Like, if I'm a child, I don't know, I'm just thinking about what it felt like for me to be in high school and have my clothing policed and my body policed. And I was just like, lay the fuck off, get out of my way. Like, I see myself as a sexual being, even though maybe I shouldn't. Like, I think the fact of the matter is, like, kids and sexualization is, and sex, like, it's not something that I think that we can or should be stopping kids from exploring. I don't think it's unsafe for children to like engage in, like, I don't think it's inherently unsafe or so unsafe that we should be preventing kids from engaging in sex or sexualization of any kind. I think that it is dangerous, but I don't think that policing what people wear is the way to fucking handle it. I think the way to handle it is to get creeps, weirdos, and fucking pedophiles out of the way of children. Like, they should not be around children. It's they're the ones doing something fucking weird. Like, let the kids do what they want. I think just let the kids do what they want. Stop being so fucking weird about their bodies. And let them wear a scandy homecoming dress. Like, who cares? Who cares? It's not gonna be the dress. Like, okay, so we're saying that they're more likely to get raped if they're like wearing a scandalous dress. Okay, right, so we're victim blaming now. I don't think that's an unreasonable conclusion to jump to. Like, I think that it is based in this culture that says, like, when women act too provocatively, they're bound to get hurt, and it's their fault. And it's not, maybe not their fault, but it's the parents' fault then. Like, how could they let them wear that? And it's like, people, if somebody got fucking sexually assaulted in their high school dance, like, why the fuck are we talking about what they were wearing? Why are we not pressing the issue of the person doing the sexual assault? Like, I don't care what they have to say about what the person was wearing. Like, that person should not have committed assault, like sexual assault. I just think we're pointing the fingers in the wrong place. This is just feels so obvious to me that we are, like, completely misdirected and at such, like, an early stage of trying to eradicate, like, rape culture. It's just, like, and so seeing, like, I feel like what I saw on Instagram was people being like, generally, like, I'm pretty leftist, or generally I'm pretty liberal, but, like, I don't know, like, what they're letting kids wear these days, like, kind of this crosses a line for me. And I'm like, I don't think that you see how this is a tool of rape culture to, like, keep us blaming the victim for being raped instead of accusing the perpetrator for raping. Let me know what you think in the comments below, okay? We're gonna move on. And speaking of controversial topics, dude, so obviously, like, at this point of releasing this, like, it's been almost a week, I think, since Charlie Kirk was murdered, and so assassinated, if you will. Bye, buddy. Arthur's playing with a little mousey. And basically all I want to do here is recap what I said on Instagram, because I made some pretty, like, decisive and divisive statements. Maybe not divisive, but what I said was effectively, like, it's embarrassing how some of y'all have not made one peep about the, like, ongoing genocide at the hands of Israel to Palestinians, and all of a sudden Charlie Kirk gets murdered and you want to croak up about political violence, and you want to croak up and say it's not cool and it's not ever right and it's not fair and it should be dealt with. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It shows me that you don't give a rip about political violence. You have no fucking morals. You have nothing you're standing on. All you care is that your conservative talking head is gone now. And that is so sad. And I'm not trying to say that he should have died. Nobody is fucking saying that. Like, before you go into my comment section, don't put those damn words in my mouth. But what I'm saying is, if you actually gave a rip about political violence, you would be speaking up about people dying all the time. Like, why was it now that you said something? It feels reflective of to me that, let me read the post that I made. It was, so there was a post I shared that said, like, stop trying to shame people for not mourning. He wasn't just a conservative we disagreed with. He was a fascist organizer who built his career spreading racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, xenophobia, and anti-immigrant hate. Like, if you want to put him in your thoughts and prayers, like, that's fully your business. I don't care what you do. But where was your sympathy for all of the other things? Like, the genocide in Gaza, like, families being separated by ICE, like, trans kids and black and brown people being, literally there was a black person lynched on a fucking college campus. Are we serious? God damn. And so anyway, I said, it is quite frankly so embarrassing to see who is and isn't worth your time or vocal support or political action, quote unquote, you fucking cowards. And then I went on to say, I have zero patience or respect at this point because there is a people actively being genocided and you think now's a good time to croak up on your IG story about political violence? Shut the fuck up. Your perspective means nothing to me because you don't stand for anything, not even your bastardized version of Christian values, and it's pathetic. I hope you're ashamed of yourself for lacking a rigid moral code or sense of responsibility towards humanity. I believe you can use this as a turning point to see the reality of just how weak your perspective is. If you believe too, we can still do this. We can still survive this fascist regime. We can still help Gaza. We can still elect officials who actually have a backbone and aren't just money, power-hungry vultures preying on your fears in order to stay in power. Wake the fuck up. Stand up for yourself. There's no time like the present. And that's all I have to say about that. And last last but not least, what we have here is another baggu discussion because I got my baggu white whale, which was a lemongrass medium crescent. You may notice this light green color that you've seen throughout the presentation is quite lemongrass coated. But so I realized I like the medium crescent shape and I love the lemongrass color. And so I had a small lemongrass crescent and like a lemongrass fanny pack. But then I had a French blue medium crescent. And so anyway, now I've married those and gotten a lemongrass medium crescent. And I think it's going to become my go-to bag. And I'm considering selling some of my other ones since I have these. Because I'm like, do I need a small and a medium crescent in the same color? Do I also need a fanny pack in the same color? Like, are these form factors different enough? And do I see myself needing one where the other two won't do? I don't know. But I'm trying to reel it in. Might see on my Gabosab Instagram, I shared my baggu collection, realized I was 17 items deep, and I was like, that's so interesting, because I did not think that I was that far in. I thought I had a few things. Like, I look at my thing and I see that I have 5 bags hanging, and so those are the only, like, proper, like, purse bag pack things I have. But then I also have, like, a keychain. I have pouches. I have the glasses sleeve. I have the earbud case. Like, I have many different accessories, it turns out. And so anyways, 17 items deep, and I got an 18th one coming in the mail, so that's really unfortunate. But who doesn't love a good even number? OCD girlies rise up. My OCD fixation, which I think, we'll just say it is, but my fixation on numbers is not like a favorability towards even or odd. It's rather a favorability towards numbers that have many factors. So like prime numbers, they're not exactly my enemy, but it's like you're either prime or you're like I give a shit if you're prime because you have no factors besides yourself and one, right? But if you are an even number, like you always have 2, and then numbers like 18, like even 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, like these numbers have so many factors, and it just like, I love it. Like, I love being able to divide a number into even groups, do easy math, quick math. It's just nice. And so anyway, so one of my emails has 15 and 12 because I turned 12 and I was like, I'm obsessed with the number 12. And then I turned 15 and I was like, I'm obsessed with the number 15 because divisible by 3 and 5, 12 famously divisible by 3 and 4, awesome. Also 2 and 6, 15 only has 3 and 5 and 1 and 15. And so 12 is just kind of like a goated number to me. Like, I totally understand why we do things in dozens because I'm like, yeah, because 12 is great. 12 is a fucking baller ass number. It's just so good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 are the factors. So anyway, that's to say, I'm trying to. This is all. Okay, so basically, I started saying this because I was trying to say that I want to reel in my baggu collection and my baggu habits because, like, it's starting to become a part of my personality. Like, people talk about it to me, and when they see baggus, they talk to me about it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, this is like a brand and a company. And so as much as I try to like espouse anti-capitalist bullshit on this podcast, I'm sitting here like licking the boot of baggu. And do I feel like it's like a proper boot lick? Like, no, but I'm licking their like platform sandal, their Doc Martens platform sandal. And I mean, for one, I just like didn't realize that my spending on, or my like items, I don't know, I feel like my spending got a little out of control with it. And I thought it was under control, but seeing it all together, I was like, oh my God, this is so much. And then I was like, this is easily like $200 to $300 like worth of stuff. And feeling a little broke at the moment. And so I was like, damn, like I've been putting my money toward this. Maybe I need to stop. And I definitely need to stop. And so I just also don't want like, it's just, yeah, like I was saying, it's a brand at the end of the day. And like, I mean, it's a brand that like tries to stand for, you know, sustainable and ethical practices and making bags that are like built to last so that you don't have to replace them. But if I overconsume them, then I'm like doing the exact opposite of what I should be doing. And so I'm trying to reel it in. I'm going to reel it in. Okay, we've made it to the end of the episode, and I'm here to shout out some more content. This is not somebody I know, but this is some content I found while browsing YouTube Shorts. Mr. Zofy. I've got their channel pulled up, and oh my god, it's so good. Basically, like as you can see in this little thumbnail, he or they pour, like literally make frames for cement and like construct little houses, and you know, they put wire in with the cement and stuff to like make it sturdy. It's crazy. And so it's just one of the like its shtick is that it's a tiny, oh my god, and they make full length videos. Oh my god, holy shit. Mr. Zofy Plus. Oh my god, I'm about to watch this as fuck. But basically, the YouTube Shorts are great. They're like just long enough, and they are similar, but they're always different. And so it's mini stuff. It's mini stuff being done with mini tools, but I don't know, it's just, I love it. Like if you like something that you can like doom scroll through, like this is it. And it's like, it's quite joyous. It's quite joyous of an experience to watch. And let's get back to the slideshow. And that's it. So thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for watching this episode, maybe. We are at the end, and please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Any engagement that you do with this podcast is good for me. And so I like genuinely, if you're listening to this, like please drop a comment saying literally anything. Just fuel me in that algorithm to see if the algorithm does in fact give a shit about me. Okay. Also let me know what you think of the new branding. Only positive comments welcome. And I'm censoring my comment section by request. We'll see if it works. But let me know what you think. Drop any thoughts you have about like what I shared today, because I kind of like dug into quite a bit. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Stab out. There we go.